somewhere.
I really liked the shot in the fridge where she got out the yogurt.
Yeah,
And so did Bethany.
Yeah, we were all like,
Really good.
that was a really good shot.
Thank you.
Yeah, you had loads of shot variety, which is what you really want.
What about the beginning?
I thought the beginning dragged on a little bit, where you had like 2 shots of each of them stretching and not wanting to get out of bed. I think you only really need one for each.
Yeah, agree.
You've got the gist of the idea. You've got some very long takes, far too long.
Yeah.
But then you do break into shorter takes, and it gets punchier and zippier.
Well,
So you need to be,
I realised that
rapidly.
after doing like the first few shots, it was like a minute long, so I ended up cutting it all down, but I left it in the start. But yeah.
Right. When I was discussing this idea, I thought the best way to approach it, really, and there's only really one clear example of this so far, I think, is person A starts an action and effectively person B continues the action. So there's one clear example of that. Anybody spot what that would be?
The brushing with the teeth.
Don't know how you got that. Yeah, indeed. Do you think that as a device to try and link the 2 characters, that makes sense?
Yeah.
To help the pace of the editing as well. So even, for example, you've got the meal, 2 feet, one shoe going on, then you must cut female putting on her second shoe, and basically consistently keep doing that. As person A is halfway through one action, we move to person B, keep doing that so it's pacey, it's zippy. Every setup, keep doing that.
It would also tie them together more. So in that one you could tell they could be completely unrelated characters. Whereas if you did that it would put them in a more obvious relationship.
So-
Yeah,
No, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you know what I mean.
Okay, a couple of other points. One would be, are we missing some footage of the ends? Have you not shot that yet?
Yeah, there's scene, well, I didn't put the outside scene on stage, we shoot that.
You can explain what it would be then.
Right, well, because it's a rom-com, there's not actually there's no comedy really in that, so it was going to be a bit, because the whole point of the opening is, that part of the opening is, you think they're in a relationship, but they're not. So it was going to be a bit where they're walking to school, or, the idea was, the boy's walking to school and then the girl walks past. Now the girl waves at her boyfriend, who's the job character, so he's like taking the tea, and he's got that. And yeah, she waves at him, and the boy mistakes it for him, and then yeah, everyone laughs. And, oh, I hope you all laugh. Yeah, so but when I filmed it, it was raining and it didn't look very good, but I need to find a better way of doing it. But I'm going to Easter.
Beth?
Or you could do, if like, say he has a car, you could do it that she's the passenger in the car and they beat the horn out the guy on the side of the road. And so he waves, thinking they're just being nice and stuff, and then they drive and splash him with a puddle. And then it's quite funny because he gets soaking wet and they're obviously like laughing at him.
You could just do it like similar way. She's walking down the road, he's walking up the road like that, and she waves, and the guy, her boyfriend's simply just behind him, he doesn't see it. Because that's easy, it's as easy as that, really.
Well, yeah, because the idea was the car would pull in and the guy would get out, and then the boys would realise he's behind him.
Same, I think what Beth was saying was it's exactly the same principle.
Yeah.
You could just do it, you don't even have a car, especially when you travel quite hard. I would just do walking. Yeah.
Tom?
Are the characters meant to be sort of late teens, or are they meant to be adults?
Late teens.
Okay, I'll just, because like the mise en scène with the shoes were like trainers. I was just wondering maybe they could be like actual.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the idea was the character. He's meant to be like yeah.
And I think another crucial aspect of this really. So if you remember, it was Chris, Laura, and Ellis last year who did the rom-com, the white poster on the back. And the real strength of theirs was bringing in the titles in a very creative way. So we've seen some examples of this, some very successful, some not necessarily so successful. So I'll start you off with one suggestion, and any others you can think of. You could create a CD, just create a track on it, so on your CD player, if it has text, comes up, produced by, as one example of where you bring in your titles.
My idea was I would have the director and the producer, and then when each of the characters come up, I was going to track it onto the wall. I mean, not to have it at the bottom corner, but I'd have it on the wall, but it'd be like digital.
With the fridge scene where the camera's inside the fridge, you could have maybe the guy opening the fridge, and you see as he opens it, the fridge doors open like that, and you see that some magnetic letters saying maybe produced by whoever.
I think especially once you do idents for a production company and distribution company, you'll be using that technology. So probably steer away from using technology again to do the titles. And go more with the creative ideas, such as the t-shirt, although there's possibly a bit of a problem with that, but that kind of idea. Helen first.
You had a couple of shots of the iPod, and just going back to Dave's CD idea, it's really easy to just change the name of the track on iTunes.
Do it on iTunes.
And it looks good because I did it.
I was just, originally I was going to have it where the music actually kicks in when one of the other clips play on the music player. But
Well, if you are, then
yeah,
it works in well with that idea.
it's just, it meant you had like a 15-20 second gap between the alarm clicking off and the music coming in, and I just thought it looked better if it stops and starts.
Yeah, but you're saying that, but it depends how it's edited in the first place.
I was thinking, when they turn up the music, why don't you just have it like quite a low music, and then when they turn it up, it gets like you turn up the music as well. So then you'll still have music, but it'll just be a bit quieter. And then when you turn it up, then of course the audio goes up.
And any thoughts on, so one of the ways it's brought into the diegetic world, the title was brought in, was the t-shirt. And any thoughts on how that was cut or presented?
It was because the light was coming from behind the t-shirt, there wasn't enough light on it to really read what was.
Yeah, and then I think you've used a still frame there.
Yeah,
It seems quite obvious. So the idea is good. So you can get it with lighting, where you don't have that problem and you don't need a still frame. That's.
Or if you took a shot from outside of the window, like looking in, or from the windowsill of him opening the blinds and then just on his chest, it does that instead.
Yeah.
Because then there would be the natural light.
Having been through the process yourselves, do you think it'd be better to use, say, live type? Bear in mind you're doing an ident, logo like the symbol as I saw earlier. Do you think it'd be a better idea to use some digital technology for titles, or in the context of rom-com, stick with diegetic titles, bring them into the film world? Alex?
I thought last year, because I used diegetic titles, I thought it was more interesting than some of the titles that were just plain coming on the screen in plain text. I thought that it was also more fun and creative to think of all the different ways you could tie in, like there was the toothpaste and the cereal and stuff like that.
Right.
I think it works well for rom-coms. I wouldn't say to do that for any other genre.
Yeah, you could have done it without.
Yeah, it just would have looked weird. So.
Yeah, and this is really, in many ways, this is the main reason to do a rom-com. In the context of particularly AS coursework, is you can go with that idea, and you can be, quite zanely creative. If you look at a film like Napoleon Dynamite, it's not really a rom-com. It's got aspects of it, but you get plates of food, for example, which bring in the titles. So I personally would really just forget all about using digital technology to bring them in and think of good, inventive ways. So, in the fridge, maybe there is a plate of food in the fridge, or as you say, maybe the shot of the fridge, you begin it with the door half ajar in the first place, so it's only